The Famine Crisis. There have been many famines throughout human history, and they have been brutal, killing millions of people. Most of these famines have been caused by war and violence. For instance, during the Russian famine in 1921 to 1922, around 5 million people died because of the revolution of 4 years before that. Famine is more than 30% of the population being affected by food insecurity. Famine is described as just limited food, but it is killing millions of people around the world. Famine is a horrible problem that needs to be solved with help from people and organizations around the world.
Famine is an issue worldwide. The most affected areas are Yemen, South Sudan, Somalia, and Nigeria. In these four main places, their water sources are drying up, their crops are dying, they have lost all their livestock, and they have nothing left to survive on. But what is causing these famines? In Yemen, a coalition led by Saudi Arabia and backed by the United States is battling the ethnic Houthi rebels. In South Sudan, a conflict between the South Sudanese leaders and their rival factions in 2013 has led to a reduced food production and disrupted livelihoods. Dry spells, flooding, and pest infestation played a big role as well. Somalia has already had 2 consecutive years of drought, and meteorologists expect crops to fail again this year. Since 2009, the Islamic extremist group Boko Haram have tried to take over the country. In 2015, they pledged alliance to the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. 2 core parts of their mission are to destroy the church and establish an Islamic-governed state. Families haven't been able to farm for 3 years, and now their food reserves have run out. Now there is a man-made famine ravaging northern Nigeria.
The famine over these 4 countries has affected millions of people. If famine happens, then it will be the most people affected by food insecurity ever in South Sudan. South Sudan is on the brink of famine, and particularly 155,000 people are being affected, and around 29,000 of that is children. Nearly 200,000 have fled South Sudan since the start of the food insecurity. In Yemen, millions of people are being affected by famine because of war with Saudi Arabia. Saudis are blocking ports, which is stopping relief from getting to where it is needed most. War in Yemen is causing millions to be misplaced and affected by famine. Because of the drought in Somalia, more than half the population is in need of food, which is around 6 million people. In Nigeria, the war is affecting hundreds of thousands of people to move out of the country, causing many to be food insecure, moving into famine. Famine is impacting millions of people in just 4 countries, and even more than that around the world. The UN has been trying to figure out solutions to the famines happening all around the world. Solution to famine can only happen if people from all around the world help. Money donations and food donations help the World Food Program and UNICEF get the food to the people in those 4 countries that need it most. Mahimbo Mado, author at UNICEF, says that if help doesn't get to the people who need it most, millions will die, many of those being children. More solutions also include supporting farmers from all the food insecure areas. Farmers in South Sudan and Nigeria need support. Without support, people cannot get the crops and livestock from their own farms and spread it to those in need. Urban farming has to be supported as well. Urban farming will empower families to control their own food source. War in Yemen, however, is preventing their government from focusing on the famine happening there. Force from other countries may be needed to get the food to those in need. There aren't many other solutions other than donations from people all around the world.
Since the United Nations was founded in 1945, more than 20 million people in 4 countries are at the risk of starvation and famine. Malnutrition in the Northeast is so pronounced that some adults are too weak even to walk. Some communities have lost all of their toddlers. More than 30% of children under the age of 5 suffer from acute malnutrition. 1 in every 6 people don't get enough food every day to live a healthy life. This year, 26 million of these people will die of starvation. In conclusion, famine affects people across the globe. Currently, mainly in Yemen, South Sudan, Somalia, and Nigeria. Millions of people have died from famine. Millions of people are on the brink of dying because of famine. It is a huge problem in the world that is overlooked way too much. People need to be able to come together and help the countries that are suffering from famine.